Hi, this video is looking at paper 2 questions 1 to 6 for the EDUQAS GCSE English Language. This video will be available as one big video looking at all questions, and I also will separate it down to question by question. This is the exam paper for November 2018. It was 2 extracts looking at a tightrope walk over Niagara Falls. So question 1 and question 3. So the reason I put these together is basically it's the same question but just looking at 2 different extracts. So question 1, it's basically just 3 questions, all worth 1 mark, and it's just to find the information question really. So you'll get asked 3 questions and you just got to find them in the text. So you should try to answer full sentences. You need specific details, and what you want to avoid in this question, even though it's only worth 1 mark and you don't have to write a whole sentence really, please don't try and just write 1 word because you've got to make sure you cover the answer. Time management for this question, after you read it you should be looking to spend 3 marks, 3 minutes. Do it as quick as you can really because you want to get on to the more questions worth more marks. So here we are, question 1 right at the top. And in this question you're identifying the keywords and scanning through the text to find them. And it's basically, like I said, it's a search and find question, so it's testing your ability to find the information in the text. And you're going to be asked to look for explicit points, obvious bits, or you might be asked to find implicit points. So there might be a question where you have to maybe look underneath the obvious or look beyond the obvious, look more of a subtle question, but generally it will probably be A, explicit points. So like I say, use whole sentences but keep them brief. Do not copy out whole chunks of the sentences. If you write out a massive quote, 2 lines or something, the examiner might think you don't know what the answer is, so use as short as quote as you can for this question. Okay, a few tips I would say for this question, even though it's quite a simple question, a few tips. Read each question twice. Read with question in mind, use a highlighter to pick out key evidence as you answer the question. And be specific, only highlight keywords and phrases. If you want to highlight, you don't have to highlight at all. Okay, many of the students fail to gain full marks in this question because they simply didn't read the question properly, so that's why you should read twice. Simple sentences. So for example, if you get a question maybe bullet pointing, okay, you would write something like, say this is about the man's appearance, you'd write he had wild eyes. Don't just put wild eyes because it might not answer the question. Okay, if you can't find one of the 1 mark questions, leave it. Don't spend 5 minutes looking for a 1 mark question because it's not worth it. Leave a gap and you can go back to it at the end of the exam if you have a spare minute. Okay, so question 1, for example, how far above the water was Wallander when he met his tightrope walk? We just got to find the information. So for example, 1A is there, 60 metres below, B is there, C is there. Oh no, these are all B. And then C is there. So like I say, there's no real trick question, you just got to find it. You're not talking about writer's techniques or anything, you just got to find the information. So on a couple of the questions there might be a couple of things you can put. As long as you answer the question, then it's fine. Okay, again, remember the tips we looked at earlier. So easy way to answer these questions. 60 metres. One thing that made it difficult for spectators, just put one thing. 500 metres away, the heavy mist, he was enveloped in the mist. And give name of one of the spectators, and there was 3 that you could have put: William Clements, Muriel Marshall, Bert Dandy. So any of those is absolutely fine. Okay, so question 3 is basically the same. The only difference is it's on the second extract, which is from the 19th century, but basically you are doing the same things. Generally question 3 might be a tiny bit harder than question 1, but it is asking for the same skills. Like I said, it's just in the 19th century as opposed to the 20th. Okay, don't get too stressed on the 19th century. It's the same as the 21st century one. Generally, EDUQAS pick one where you will probably recognise all the words, so it won't be too different from reading the 21st century one. Okay, there is the extract. 21st century one will also be longer. So this one here is probably only going to be about 3/4 or half a page of a picture. So yeah, it should be a bit easier to read. However, there might be the odd words you don't recognise. So again, then give one detail from the text, suggests Niagara is impressive, and then I've highlighted at the top a stupendous and inspiring place. Okay, so all of these could have answered A. This one answers B, and that one answers C. So we put them again in our Simple answers. Give one detail from the text, and I've given a few. Stupendous, one of the greatest objects in nature, 160 feet high, dizzy high. Any of those you could have had, it would have given you a mark. Remember, I'm not putting huge quotes. I'm not copying out a whole sentence or two sentences. I'm just picking out the quote that is very impressive. What was the size of the crowd? 25,000. Okay, how long did this performance last? About an hour. That's from the text. There you go. Pretty simple question, a pretty simple answer, and yeah, give yourself 3 or 4 minutes. Hopefully you get the 3 marks.